Janna,
Good morning.
good morning. So good to be with you this morning.
Same.
Well, I just want to let our listeners know that I am Gail Thackeray, the coordinator uh, for the Advanced Chakra Diagnosis and Treatment workshop being held here in St. Louis on August 27th through the 29th. We're so lucky to be able to have this presentation that you're going to give us in August. We've been waiting for it for a long time.
A long time.
And we'll still abide by the COVID safety items that most of us are very familiar with. But we are just so pleased to have you teach us things that we can use, especially after this post-COVID scenario. I think it's real important, and you're going to hear me say COVID-19 probably a few times in my questions, because I cannot think of a more important time or greater need. I'm just now starting to get out and meet people, and there's all sorts of issues going on with everyone.
Yeah, there are.
So I'd like to take a moment and introduce you, because there are a few people that will not know much about your work as yet until they meet you. But I am interviewing Janna Mall this morning. She's the founder and president of Energy Medicine Specialists, and it's an affiliate program of Healing Touch program. She also has a private practice in Highlands Ranch, Colorado, called the Heart Healing Center. She has been in private practice since 1994 and is trained in a multiplicity of disciplines, ranging concepts in an easy to grasp format. Janna is published on various energy in the field of energy medicine. She specializes in teaching difficult and broad medicine topics. In her energy practice, she combines her training in multiple energy disciplines that include healing touch, Reiki, polarity, pranic, reconnection, EFT, therapeutic touch, psychotherapy, and coaching. You have such a broad, I think I lost you for a moment. You have such a broad field of knowledge, and I'm so looking forward to challenging you with all the questions I have over the last 4 or 5 years since I've been in Healing Touch, as well as many of the students that you'll meet. Are you ready to begin with the questions?
I am. Let's go. I do want to say, to start with, as practitioners in the field of energy medicine, if there is only one class that you can take this year, this is the class, because
Awesome.
Everything I teach is applicable to your client practice and can benefit you as a diagnostician, as a practitioner in energy. So
that's wonderful. I'm anxious to get this Zoom video out to people so they'll know how important it is. Janna, I am familiar with your name in energy medicine education, so I signed up immediately when I heard you were coming to St. Louis. For energy practitioners that may not be as familiar with your work, please tell us what inspired you to design the Advanced Chakra Diagnosis and Treatment workshop.
Well, I didn't feel that other programs or other trainings that were available out there actually took the practitioner deeper into the professional knowledge base in energy medicine. And so my classes were originally designed for practitioners already with some kind of training in the field to be able to go deeper. But what I found over the years, and I've been teaching this since 2001, over the years, what I found is that the students coming into my classes didn't have background knowledge that I felt they should have at this advanced level. And so what I then had to do is back up and write the entry level courses so that everybody's on the same page when they get to the advanced practice coursework. Now, this class is still being offered without the prerequisite of having my energy therapy 1, 2, 1 and 2. And so there will be some catching up in this course to make sure everybody's on the same page. But it does go deeper. It goes a lot deeper. And I feel like if we learn something and all we're doing is practicing it without the professional knowledge of application to the client base, whatever their needs might be, then I think we're still entry-level practitioners. And so what I'm striving for is to create a depth of knowledge and a professionalism amongst energy practitioners so that they have enough knowledge to be able to start to diagnose parts of the energy system. Now, some people will tell you that we can't use the term diagnosis, which is not true, because what we're not diagnosing is the physical body, which is not our domain of knowledge. What we're diagnosing are the parts of the energy system, which is absolutely our domain of knowledge. So I am teaching diagnosis, and in this particular class, it's diagnosis of the chakra system.
Wonderful. I need to know so much more about it. And from the discussions I've had with others, I think we can all use that advanced level of instruction. My next question is, the course content includes transformative interventions for repatterning and rebuilding the chakras. Can you elaborate just a little bit more about these protocols for greater balance and harmony, especially now during this epic period of COVID-19?
Yeah, COVID is not something that has specifically and individually affected the chakra system. COVID, because it's worldwide, has affected at a higher level the energy systems that we carry. So depending on how you respond to it, what your reaction to the changes in the world, the changes in your family, even specifically whether you have individually been affected by COVID or within your family and close-knit friend network, you're going to display that at different parts of the energy system. And if it's trauma, it's going to be in the hara system. And that's the other highest level of practitioner training course that I have, which is diagnosis and treatment of the hara system. Now, anything that affects the hara system is going to boil down to the other systems and express in them as well. And so depending on where the individual's weakest link is in the chakra system is likely to be where the COVID experience plays out. Because the chakra system is zones of the body, and we primarily work with 7 major chakras, and I teach assessment of 7 levels of the 7 chakras. So how to look at exactly where it's playing out in the chakra system can be extremely helpful for the practitioner and the client. What I want to say about that is that we are not fixing or healing the client. What we're doing is we're witnessing the journey with them. And if we can help them by finding the origin of the issue that they're working with, then the journey becomes easier. The process to heal what is out of balance becomes easier for the client. And that's our job as a practitioner, is to walk that journey with the client.
Thank you so much for that reminder about walking with the client.
I hope I answered your question.
Yes.
I will back up just a bit and say the transformative techniques that I'm teaching. Um, Number one, if what you learn to do is assess each chakra one time, then what you're seeing is an overview of what that chakra holds. But specifically, what you're seeing is how that chakra expresses physically. And if that person does a lot of self care, takes care of their physical self, holds physical balance and grounding, it's never going to show you where the compromise is. If you look deeper into that chakra, into the spiritual levels, and you see the compromise there, now you're starting to find origins of issues. And that's the biggest shift in this class, is it takes you to a whole nother specialty of diagnosis. And the techniques work in those different levels of the chakras.
Right. I'm only beginning to understand this after being level 4 and being in practice for 3 years. And so it's still kind of an open question for me. How do I find these issues in the chakra areas? So
Finding
you've
them is part. Knowing what to do about it is the second part.
thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. The next question is, I anticipate our St. Louis students covering new concepts over the 3-day workshop with you. What kind of resources will we take home to support our continued practice of the advanced chakra diagnostic techniques?
That's an excellent question, and it should be a concern for every student. What is going to carry me forward from this class? This is the workbook for
Wow.
advanced chakra. It's quite extensive. Um, in addition to this class, there are many other classes being offered by energy medicine specialists, including culminating in a certification and an acronym of SEM, or Specialist in Energy Medicine. And basically, the philosophy is that if you're a specialist in this field, in this discipline, you need to be able to diagnose and treat all parts of the energy body. And so those are the courses that my program covers. Then, in addition to that, even with that certification, you need to have a place where you can gather additional advanced knowledge. And that's what energy medicine specialist is set up to do. And that is to create community and to be a clearinghouse for additional knowledge in the field of energy medicine. So, for example, Gail, I don't know a lot about your background, but let's say your background is nursing or spiritualism, and you have an interest in doing an advanced course in what is your specialty. Energy medicine specialist is set up to be that platform for you. So not only will I help you write a course on advanced, well, I have someone wanting to write a course on sacred sound and music, who has a background in Christian tradition, but also in music, in choirs, and in musical performance. And so she's looking at it from the standpoint of, here's my background and specialty, and I want to make that available to the energy medicine practitioner so that they can look at frequency and sound and sacred music and how that creates a shift for healing. So that becomes a place for you to get additional knowledge in an area that you might be interested in, but also to be able to plug back in and be a part of a greater community.
My gosh, that's wonderful to
Yeah.
hear. So many people I know have these little niches or specialties, and that you can construct something from that. I mean, I'm just blown away. That is wonderful.
Well, and not only that, we want to be able to count those nursing CEs for our recertifications. And so, as a as a clearinghouse, I can help you write that course according to very strong educational and ethical framework. And I can also offer nursing CEs for what you'd like to teach within the community. So I'm giving back in that way as well to help keep our community strong, informed, educated, and together, a community.
Right. It's very connected in that fabric that you wove in. Okay. The next question I have is from the things that I'm aware of, crystals, color, essential oils, and sounds are all vibratory energies that some students may not be familiar with. Can one or more of these applications align practitioners with higher vibrational levels as we return to the post-COVID-19 general population environment once again for our own self-care and and able to stay even healthier than what we worried about before?
Yeah, absolutely. They're vibrational, and that's why they're part of this course and being introduced. The reason I introduce them is because they can be combined with other things, with each other, as well as with energy work. And for the layperson who doesn't have a strong background or certification in one of those four areas, sound, color, oils, and
Crystals.
crystals.
Yes.
And what I'm doing in this course is I'm giving you an introduction. How do I look at something outside of my training area? How do I look at it professionally? What are the cautions with it? How do I apply it? How do I utilize it with energy medicine? So for me to just say, yeah, go out and, incorporate these things, I wouldn't be upholding my own professional standing if I said that. So that's why they're part of the course, is to give you an idea of what do I need to be aware of when using oils with a client? What do I need to be aware of when using sound, when using tuning forks, when using music? How does intention play with that? How does my vibration shift with those? What is my natural affiliation? Where do I feel drawn between those four mediums? And why do I think that is? So we play with them the first day, the whole first afternoon. We're playing with oils and crystals and color and sound to see how it impacts the energy system. So I'm really excited about that. Most students have more fun there. And then those are available all the rest of the workshop as well, so that you can continue to utilize them with everything else that you're learning. So my caution would be, if you're signed up for the class, don't worry about rushing out and practicing with all of these things. First, find out how we use them, and then practice with them in the course, and then see what you might be drawn to adding to your energy practice.
That's great advice. But I look forward to that first day playing with all of these tools that can help us for self care and for our clients. Thank you.
And there are multiple things within those areas too. Like, we use sound. When we introduce sound, we have music that we're listening to, but we're also using tuning forks. When we use color, we're using colored scarves, silk scarves, but we're also using colored glasses. So I give different varieties of things to play with as well. So play would be the description of the first day.
Nice. Very nice. One last question for you. I can imagine the Advanced Chakra Diagnosis and Treatment workshop being more important now since the genesis of COVID-19. Are there any COVID-19 related trends you may have encountered in your private energy practice that you can share with those of us scheduling clients once again? I know you mentioned a little bit earlier in the other questions that I had, but I wondered if you had any examples for us that we may be seeing soon as we get back into practice.
Yeah, definitely the first thing I noticed when I started seeing clients again, last I was probably shut down from February of last year through July or September. And when I started seeing clients again, the first thing I noticed was the energy field was imbalanced. Now, this class isn't really describing energy fields, but because it's an advanced practice, anything you have to ask from your client practice is fair game in this course. And so we'll investigate different things. If I need to reteach how to use a pendulum, or if I need to reteach how to hand scan or how to measure the energy field, I mean, all of that is available in this workshop, which is why I think it's the workshop to take this year. Um, the energy field imbalance is a mini course that I offer through my website based on what I found coming back out after COVID. And it makes a lot of sense why the energy field would display this imbalance. It's because it's how we carry ourselves out into the world, and we've just been isolated and shut down. And so, how are we carrying ourselves back out into the world? And the world is shifting and changing. The world that we're a part of is a very patriarchal construct. And the systems within that patriarchy are breaking down. The medical system, the education system, the political system, the financial system, everything is in shift and change. And so our masculine is also in shift and change. And because of that, if you look at the chakra system, you're also going to see that the lower three chakras are going to show some of the deepest patterns that we're shifting with COVID. The root chakra being our family of origin, how we see ourselves in the world and how we come out into the world. Sacral chakra, our feminine, and we all have a feminine, whether we're female or not. And the solar plexus, the masculine. So I would say, based on the patterns I'm seeing with the energy field, that it's more likely to see those patterns in the solar plexus chakra, although it really depends on who the client is and what kind of personal care they've been doing, what kind of personal growth work they've done, whether or not it is showing up in their solar plexus. For us as practitioners, it is extremely important that we look at those issues ourselves. Who am I in this world at large? What world reflects me? And how do I hold for that? And then looking at our emotional patterns around COVID, as well as our boundary issues, which is solar plexus around COVID. So we're going to learn a lot more about all of the chakras, how they express. You'll get state-of-the-art documentation forms that you can resource, that you can reference and say, oh, here it is. Therefore, it's likely to be in solar plexus. Although anytime we go and do an assessment of a client, it's from neutrality, and you may not see it there, but at least you are starting to put together the patterns, which are how we diagnose. What are the patterns that are expressing in the energy? And so, yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun. And there's still room in the course, right?
Yes, there is. And so I'll be reaching out and sending the Zoom interview out to as many groups as I can. And you've already given me a lot of confidence and questioning you. I already feel wonderful that I'll be able to go in and have these absolute tools to help diagnose the energy field. Again, I've almost got a shiver that I'm ready to jump in it again. So
I'm
thank you very
excited.
much.
I'm really looking forward to this class. And if anybody stumbles upon this video on YouTube, you can always go to my website, which is energymedicineспециалиsts.com. And you'll find a link there to Gail to sign up for the workshop, or you'll find a listing of my courses and other information. So we're happy to have you. And this course does not have a prerequisite, although if you have a client practice, not necessarily in energy medicine, and you have some basic knowledge in chakras, you will definitely learn a lot in this class.
All right. I'll reach out to everyone I know. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Gail.
All right.
I'll see you soon.
Yes, very soon in August.
Okay. Later.
Bye-bye.